Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 327. So before we get to your business questions, I want to talk a little bit about what happened with the enemy going out of business sale. Did a video on my Alpha M YouTube channel. For those of you who follow this vlog, you already kind of heard the story a few days before I actually posted that video. The video on the Alpha M YouTube channel was, I think it was like going out of business or shutting down or something very clickbaity. And, it was amazing in terms of the response. So what I was very fearful of was just sitting on a bunch of inventory, right? Because as I mentioned in the vlog that I talked about, and if you guys missed the vlog, it was a few vlogs ago where I talk about the fact that I needed to change directions for enemy, and I'm going to give it another shot, right? I was wrong. I've been doing it now for about 31 months, and Kevin O'Leary has this thing where if something isn't working or profitable after 3 years or 36 months, it's time to shoot the bleeding dog and basically move on, because your efforts, your money, your bandwidth is better suited using it somewhere else that's going to be more productive. Now, enemy has been profitable. It's not that I have not been profitable or successful with this company. It would be a successful business for somebody that this was their only thing, this was their business. They would be able to make a nice little living, but that was never the goal for the sunglass company. I wanted to create an amazing product, sell it super affordably, and blow it up. And the way that I wanted to blow it up was on paid advertising like Blenders and Shady Rays and some of these other sunglass companies. But because when I built these, I made them too high quality in terms of the acetate, spring hinges, ice lenses, all that good stuff, even the case and the box and the microfiber cloth and the microfiber bag. Like, I made amazing sunglasses. And the idea was that I was going to sell them for 150 bucks. Well, and I know that I'm doing a little bit of a recap, but I just need a little backstory. And so when I launched it, day number one, I thought to myself, if I don't move, X number of sunglasses on this first day, it's probably the wrong price point. And I realized it was the wrong price point. And so I decided that I was going to try to make up for the margin by dropping the price and just doing more sales, right? More volume. And it never worked. It never worked. I never figured out how to do it. And the reason was because my sunk costs in these glasses were too high. So anyway, after a lot of analysis over the course of the past few months, really decided there needed to be a bunch of changes. Needed the change in terms of the acetate. I needed the change in terms of the lenses. Instead of Zeiss, I'm going to be going with a premium lens. The acetate is a premium acetate, but it's not like Mazzucchelli imported, right? And so the glasses are still going to be crazy high quality. I don't know where they went. Was this one of them? They sent me 3 styles, basically, in the new acetate and lenses, right? And when I got them, I looked at them, I compared them to the regular ones or the ones that I had made. I'm like, oh, I can't tell the difference. Awesome. So anyway, what happened next? So I never figured out how to scale this thing. And so after analysis, I realized that a lot of the assumptions that I made, like making all these sunglasses, instead of going like deep in terms of a bunch of different styles, and I went wide. A few styles and lots of options. One of those options was larger sunglasses, because I was getting complaints, oh, the sunglasses are too small. The sunglasses are too small. Well, the truth is a large size sunglass was only 2 millimeters per lens larger, and you really, can't tell the difference. And so, but I did. I decided I'm going to try to make everybody happy. And so I had all these large sizes made in a bunch of different styles. When I decided to retool and revamp the whole website, because I don't look that good in these sunglasses, I wanted to get me off of it. I needed to make it more of a basic standard sunglass brand, and that required me to dumb it down and really get rid of like every image that was on it and just make it a lot cleaner and easier to navigate. When I decided that, after analysis and realizing that like 98% of the sunglasses I'm selling are the standard sizes and only 2% are buying the large sunglasses, I had a lot of inventory. And so part of the idea is that I'm going to now invest the money. Instead of doing, all these different colorways, I'm going to pare it back to the 3 or 4 that are the top sellers, and the large sizes, all of them need to go, so that I can conserve that cash and use it and deploy it for more styles, right? Instead of having just 4, now I've got the Enemy 5s, the Enemy 6s, the Enemy 7s are being developed. Like, we're going to come out with new options in terms of styles. And so when I decided, okay, I need to kill these, I knew that I had a limited amount of time before the new site was launching, and essentially it was like a month, right? And so I needed to sell out of these sunglasses, the large sizes, before the new website launches, because I am not bringing them over to the new website. I don't want to actually, hang on, hang on. I don't want it, better. I don't want to invest time, money, or energy building it out in terms of the technology and the interface for the website and the mobile to have even the large sizes as an option. I basically want to launch with the products that we're going to have and basically start fresh. And so I knew that I had a problem. I've got about 2,000 pairs of these large sizes that I am just sitting on, right? What am I going to do? And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to try to get my money out of them. Like, it's not about, at this point, it wasn't about me making money, because like making money is not going to happen. I just need to not lose money. And if I were sitting or don't sell these sunglasses, these large sunglasses, I was going to eat it, right? Because I wasn't going to be like, oh, buy these. Like I wasn't going to sell them. I literally was going to eat the loss. And so I decided that I was just going to see what would happen. If I did a video, cut the price by 50% on these large glasses, and then on top, hang on. It's my wife, hang on. Hello, mother-in-law stuff. Oh, that's a whole nother story for another day. She just threw a cup of water on one of the workers and kicked somebody at lunch. So, wow, all right. So back to enemy. So what happens? I also, and that's what I was getting to, I also was like, you know what, for the next like 48 hours, I'm gonna do an additional 20% off. I need to see if I can move these glasses. And guess what happened? It was amazing. I sold 2,000 sunglasses in literally 24 hours. And I actually oversold a little bit. We had some inventory counting issues. There were some hiccups, but all in all, I moved 2,000 units at like $40 a piece. And so I didn't make any money on all of those or any of those, but I didn't lose money. And you know, it's funny, and I guess one of the business lessons, people are like, oh, well, that should be the price point if you can move. I'm like, no. I'm like, you don't understand. That is not the price point. The reason why people bought these is because A, they knew they were getting an amazing deal. Anytime you say 50% off, people think, you know, amazing deal. The price point that people were used to saying was 100. And so chopping it 50% already as a consumer is like, wow, this is awesome. I'm getting an incredible deal. Now you throw on top of that another 20% off discount, you know, it's you know, basically like 60% off. And so this is huge. But if it wasn't anchored at that 100, and honestly, it was anchored higher than that, because I told the story, I explained that these glasses should be selling for around $150. If I were to, and that's the thing that I didn't mention in that video that I kind of wish I did, but it doesn't matter, obviously, is that if I were going to sell these retail, these would be $300 sunglasses because of the components. The $300 sunglasses, the $400 Tom Ford's, $500 Gucci's, like, the quality is actually lower than what I am using on enemies. And I was selling them for $100. And so people knew they were getting a great deal, super high quality pair of sunglasses. The reviews are all awesome. And so people bought. The other reason why people bought is because they wanted to help me out. And that was probably 30%, I would imagine. 30% of people were just like, you know what, whatever. These are cool glasses, good enough. I'm just gonna help Alpha out. And help him get rid of this inventory. And so for those of you who participated in that, for those of you who have ever bought a pair of Enemy sunglasses, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for helping me out. I literally generated $100,000 in large sunglasses sales in 24 hours. And it was amazing. It was kind of sad because, you know, it was admitting defeat, but I moved the glasses. Now I can use that money for new styles and to reorder inventory that I'm going to be keeping, and also use it for the website and the technology and all that good stuff. And so I just wanted to give you kind of like an update on what happened. It was better than I ever dreamed. I knew, like, I was confident. I'm like, I'm going to be eating a ton of these sunglasses. But you guys just stepped up, and I can't tell you how appreciative I am and just thankful. Thank you so much for helping me lose less money. And thanks for always, being in my side and my corner. And yeah, and so anyway, lots of business lessons probably in this enemy story and saga. It's not over. I'm giving myself pretty much till the end of the year to try and figure out the paid advertising game, retooling the designs, not the designs, the components a little bit. And I think I'm going to be able to do it, because the one thing, the glasses are going to be still higher quality than like everything else in the price point in terms of Shady Rays or blenders. And our glasses are much cooler and sexier than those. And so that's one thing that we definitely have on our side, because we have nailed these. These are custom designed. I made these for me. I love them. And they're just amazing shades. And so I'm excited. But yeah, it's just kind of a whirlwind. Last weekend, it was insane in terms of just the sales. It was unbelievable. But thank you again. And now what I'd like to do is get to some of your business questions. But thank you. Thank you so much. The first business question comes from our friend Jason Payne. He says, advice for someone starting today. Would you recommend YouTube, or would another platform be better like Dailymotion or TikTok? Do you think for somebody starting today that YouTube is just too saturated? Thank you, Aaron, for all you do. You're true. Thank you. Yes, 100,000% you should be doing YouTube, in my opinion, because no other platform has the long-term benefit in terms of searchability, right? The other thing with YouTube is that it's super easy to, link to your business or whatever you're talking about, even if it's a website and an info product. YouTube is one of the largest search engines in the world. Now, technically, it's not a search engine like Google, or what are the other ones? There are other ones. Anyway, like Google, that's technically a search engine, but YouTube, that's where people go to search for things. And if you're starting a business, the other thing about YouTube is that the community aspect and feel is amazing in terms of the way that you can connect with somebody. And it's not as attention seeking or with TikTok and some of these other platforms, it's real quick, right? Everything's super fast. And so, yes, you can get a lot of views really easy if you get into that algorithm, but YouTube, the quality views are much better and the watch time is much longer. And so if you are wanting to start a business, I would say start on YouTube. Start getting comfortable putting out content. Start getting comfortable talking about whatever you want to talk about. You can also repurpose that content and put it on the different platforms. But it's really difficult to take your TikTok and put it on YouTube. You can do it in a short format, but shorts don't have the engagement that a regular standard YouTube video does. And so in my opinion, if you are thinking about starting a business and you are comfortable enough putting yourself out there on video or in front of a camera, YouTube, 1,100,000,000% yes. A lot of comments about NFTs. Apparently somebody said that Gary made over $100 million in liquid cash with NFTs. Really? I have no idea. There was another comment said, NFTs are just the beginning. They'll use NFTs in the future to prove ownership of everything super easy, like a house, for example. So does a deed. But that's awesome. If you're into NFTs and you can make money at it, go for it. I just don't understand. So I'm gonna hold back right now. The next question comes from our friend Ashk. He says, why have you never promoted this channel on the Alpha M one? The Alpha M channel, this is a different audience, right? The Alpha M channel, and people that would be interested from the Alpha M channel would probably, are probably here, because these videos do get fed into the recommendation, engine and recommended videos for people that engage with my content on the Alpha M YouTube channel a lot. The Alpha M YouTube channel is more business focused in terms of it's a business. I do a lot of sponsorships. I sell a lot of products. It is always topic driven. And this is more entrepreneurial inspired and a much more low-key sort of situation. There was a comment, I think somebody hates this, that I just ramble for 20 minutes. But for those of you who have been here for a while, we do this, it's not just for me to hear myself talk. It's really designed and has been from the beginning to give value. Starting a business is hard. Starting a business is challenging. There are a lot of pitfalls. And so when I decided to start this or try to start this, it was one of those things where it's well, why not just put out kind of tips of what we're dealing with, what we're talking about, starting the business and building the brand Tiege Hanley. And I've been doing it now for 327 weeks in a row. And so it's just kind of a therapeutic place for me to share whatever knowledge I have. I am not an expert in many things. Starting businesses is something that I've done a lot of. I've been successful in some, I've been a huge failure in others, but you learn. And if we can help any of you avoid like one mistake or get an idea or some nugget of value or information that comes out of this, like it's absolutely worth it. And so it's just a different vibe. It's a different sort of customer or viewer on this channel than the Alpha M YouTube channel. But great question, and thank you. The next business, wait a second, hold on. I thought there were a few. Hold on. Kunjalarj Sinj Jazala, another one, you're asking another question about how to deal with overprotective parents. That's not a business question, all right? If it's a business question, I appreciate it, but overprotective parents, I don't know. Mine were overprotective, and I turned out all right. It's that they love you, man. Give them a break. Let me see. Okay, there is one more business question, it looks like, from, one second, I'm just scrolling down. Our friend Abdul Fair Lifestyle, he says, hey Alpha, I know this question could be hard to answer, but here it is. Someone wants to start a business selling something. I mean, she or he knows exactly what they want to sell, say accessories. You want to sell accessories? I'm hoping that's what it is. I love accessories. Says they have the design of what they're selling. If you can make an infographic for dummies, what are the steps they need to make to start selling? I'm not sure. You're right. This question is really hard to answer because I don't know exactly what you're asking. If you can make an infographic for dummies, what are the steps they need to make to start selling it? I guess if you've got the infographic or you have the design and you've got everything kind of laid out, going and finding a manufacturer. That would, I guess, be the next step. And then when you find a manufacturer, then you can send them the renderings and they've got teams, right? At a lot of these places, a lot of them in China or some of these other countries, they've got teams on staff that will take your renderings or your drawing and convert them into like CAD drawings and you know, real like design drawings so that they then can make you a sample. And then you get the sample, you can test it, you can tweak it, and then you go back to them and then you place your order. Now, one of the downs, so a place where you can start looking is Alibaba. I've talked about Alibaba before. It is a great resource for people in terms of, you know, making things inexpensively. But when inexpensive is one of those things, I think China gets a bad rap in certain areas when it comes to manufacturing. Because it's only going to be a cheap product if you use cheap components, right? But what China does really well is assemble things, create things in a timely fashion, and they're very accurate. And so, like Enemy, I've mentioned this before. Enemy, they are made in China, a factory that also makes like Tom Ford, Oakley, like all these other Shady Rays blenders, like all these other sunglasses. I found them originally on Alibaba. And when I contacted them, they sent me a bunch of their custom standard style glasses. I got them, I was like, okay, and I knew that I wanted to do custom designs, but it was a way for me to test kind of like quality, just to see what they looked like and if there was something there that I absolutely loved, right? And I did that with a few different vendors. And then from that, you can actually decide which one has the highest quality. And then, oops, I got a meeting. Actually, I got a meeting in 5 minutes with Paul about Enemy, deciding on exactly what styles we're going to be keeping because I need to order. We not only sold some of the large, or all the large sizes this past week, we sold a lot of the regular size and standard size. So I actually did make money on those, even at 20% off. So that was awesome. Some of the upsells also. That's another thing. Real quick business lesson, all right? With the Enemy site and the sale, something else that I had in place were upsells, right? You could add a care kit. You could add the soft case. You could add some other products to increase their average order value. And so even though the cost or the price that I was charging for the sunglasses was like right under $40, the average order value was like $53. And the other products that I was upselling, I actually do have some margin, good margin on those. And so it was a way to kind of like, anyway, you want to get that average order value up. Back to my story with manufacturing. You find somebody, you get a bunch of samples, you see them, you feel them, you test them, you ask for feedback, and then you go back to them. You find the one that you think is going to be best. You see what their minimum order quantity is, because that's another thing that is a lot of times jarring for people. They think, hey, I want to make a bracelet. I'm going to make 10 designs. And then you find out that the minimum is like 500 of each design. It's like, maybe I'm just going to go with 2 or 3 or whatever. Test the market before you go super big, super deep. Gentlemen, that is where I'm going to wrap things up. The last thing I'd just like to leave you with is a big, huge enemy thank you. Thank you again for just helping me get through this inventory and make this mistake that I made less painful, because that's honestly what it did. This also gives me insight that if I ever decide to shut down enemy and I've got inventory, I will be able to move it. And so that makes me feel a little bit better about investing more in different styles. Not that I want to shut down enemy. I believe in it. I believe in the new direction, and I'm excited about it. But there is always that, okay, what is my escape hatch? What happens if, things don't work out and I do eventually, as Mr. Kevin O'Leary says, need to take it behind the barn and shoot it? Do I have a way to get my cash out of it? And from this past week, what I proved is yes, I do. And the reason is because you guys are awesome, and I just want to say thanks. Guys, thank you so much for everything. At Tiege Hanley, we love you more than our double monk strap shoes and enemy shades.